The information shared on this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. While we discuss topics related to mental health, well-being, and emotional support, we are not providing therapy or medical services. Always seek the advice of your physician, psychologist, psychiatrist, or other qualified mental health provider with any questions you may have regarding a mental health condition. If you are in crisis, feeling unsafe, or need immediate support, please contact a mental health professional or emergency services in your area. The views expressed by guests and hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated organizations or institutions.
Get inspired, get motivated with M.A.Y.A and the M.A.Y.A, My Ambition, Your Ambition podcast.
Something that I take pride in is trying to be forward thinking, thinking outside the box, challenging myself. And as I challenge myself, hopefully I challenge you.
Find M.A.Y.A on Twitter and Instagram at M.A.Y.A_Akai. On Facebook at M.A.Y.A Akai Presents.
We're going to talk health, wealth, fitness, mental health, financial, lots of different things that can empower you as you seek out the ambition that you're pursuing.
Or get everything M.A.Y.A at M.A.Y.A_Akai.com.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome to episode 92 of M.A.Y.A, My Ambition, Your Ambition, where, we're going to take a deep dive today into understanding the spaces that we live in, not just tidying up your closet, but we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, and physical components of well-being that are impacted by how you are maintaining your living spaces. And our guest today is going to help us to gain insight into how our living spaces, because I know a lot of people don't consider the living spaces like this, and the environments that you spend your most time in truly do influence and impact you. And speaking of my guest today, I am so thrilled to welcome to the show the very, very extraordinary organizing and so much more guru, Sylvia Holloway, who is the founder of Love to Organize You. And I met her at the inception of this. I'm just going to tell you, I'm fanning on this. I'm a fan of hers and her sister, Simple. I met them years ago. I don't even know how long ago. And I was so impressed with their passion for helping people. They are true entrepreneurs and they are the epitome. When I started doing the Ambition Show, because I wanted people to see when passion meets purpose, what that looks like. And then you kick it up or you level it up with ambition and motivation. These two ladies have been working it and I have watched the growth exponentially. And in that ride, in that growth, the amount of people they have taken with them. This is why this guest to me is so special. And I just adore her to pieces. And I am so proud of her progress. And let me tell you, this episode is more than just about a simple filing papers away or declutter. It's going to be a powerful conversation that will involve how being organized can bring mental clarity, believe it or not, emotional resilience, and physical harmony. So if you're ready to stop feeling wrecked because your space is out of control and you want to start building a life that's defined by structure, calm, and intention, sit back, relax, and get ready for this. So with that said, if you're a first-time listener or viewer, welcome to the show. I always appreciate all the new listeners, and we are growing globally. Now we have people listening in Taiwan. I've got some new listeners in the Philippines. I'm just loving the international love. So welcome aboard. But one thing I say to my first-time or new listeners, hey, just buckle up because occasionally it can be a bumpy ride because you might have an aha moment of something that was said. Now, of course, if you are one of my returning listeners or viewers, then welcome back. I always love your continued support, and you are more than familiar with how we get down here. So I always say for the next 40, 50 minutes, however long this takes, find that space that you can relax, to listen, and reflect. Make sure you grab a pen and paper so you can jot down things you hear that you maybe want to go back and revisit. So let's move forward with this. Next up on the Ambition stage, meet Chicago's own. I had to throw it out there because this is some good Chicago energy, and I love it. Sylvia Holloway. Like I said, She is so many things. I got to add on to that list of what I said earlier. She's also an entrepreneur. She's an author, beyond just being a professional organizer and lifestyle coach. Like I said, she is the founder of Love to Organize You. And here's the thing I want you to know about how Sylvia embarked upon her journey to revolutionize the world of organization. When she saw how organizing could influence and impact everyday life, that is what made her decide to move forward. And this all came from her initially having a local cleaning business where she kind of learned her passion here, how to curate these very functional and beautiful spaces for people. So, how may you ask, did she come to this point? Well, she began to even understand her own unique skill sets. And that's where this starts. She realized that she had a meticulous attention to detail and a very unique approach to organizing. And from that, she found purpose. And then she said, wait, when I do this, I'm helping people to better their lives. And hence, walked in the door was purpose, just like that. She helped people to gain control to their lives through helping them to be professionally organized. So today, what started as a Chicago-based business is now serving clients around the country, Indianapolis, Houston, Dallas, the list goes on. So even if you're not in Chicago, guess what? She can still make it happen for you because her expertise in creating is amazing because your space will be organized, functional, and by the way, very, very aesthetically pleasing. So without further ado, I love this so much. I'm excited. Let's bring to the ambition stage, Sylvia Holloway. Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I told you, I'm fanning right now because I just love everything you do. I remember when we were talking about you starting this organization business from the beginning and to see how much it's grown and that you have become like this person traveling the country, helping people to truly change their lives through organization is amazing. Growth, when it is fueled by passion and purpose, Sylvia, it looks so different. So tell people a bit about, okay, how did you even come to honestly discover that you had this really true acumen for detail and that this could be something that could be life-changing?
Well, Maya, I've always been a cleaner and I've always tried to tidy things up. But it was a client, one of my cleaning clients, who shared with me that, you categorize my items in such a way, you should be a professional organizer. And I had no idea what that was. So I did the research and I was like, okay, this sounds like me. And I just jumped in.
Okay. And I love that it's just, so it was that initial experience where you saw, wow, there's power behind being able to do this. So one of the things that I put on the table that I talked about was that being organized legitimately can provide so much mental clarity. So when I say that, what I mean is that when you organize things, there becomes a way that you can declutter your mind. You can also reduce decision making and fatigue and free up more time, cognitive space, because you know where things are. You're not running around looking for things. So when I talk about that mental clarity, being organized is so important. What's some of the things you notice when you work with people and you're organizing them?
I notice instantly they feel free. They brighten up. I mean, they just feel less heavy. And they talk about it. Like I went to a client today. I had an appointment today, and she said, people love my bedroom. I said, you had people in your bedroom? And she was like, yeah, I have people in my bedroom. And she was like, and they love it. And I was like, do you love it? And she was like, yes, I do. And I was like, do you remember where everything goes? Because it's one of my senior clients. And so I see her moving differently. She knows where things are, and it saves you time because you're not scrambling. So you can actually buy time. I know that sounds crazy, but you can buy time by being organized.
By being organized, yes, it provides mental clarity. So then you're not stressed because you know where to find something. Anybody who's listening can probably say they've had a time where they told themselves they had an item. They're like, I'm going to put it here so I won't forget where it is. And then they go to look for it and they don't know where it is. And they cannot even recall. Because to me, that's not a good way to truly organize something by saying it's this spot. So I definitely, when I say the mental clarity piece, it takes the stress away of like running around and looking for stuff because you know where everything is. I also feel
Mhm.
like you look at what you do in helping people get organized is really like emotional freedom because you do speak a lot about mental health. I notice in your reels when you talk to people.
Right. You know, I'm not a therapist, Maya. I'm an educator and author and a lot of other things, but I don't do what you do. But there is a direct correlation to your mental. When you live in chaos, your mind feels it, your energy feels it. And there's this desperation for help, and you're calling out all the time. So you're not really living the life you were intended to live. So I help people live their desired lifestyle.
And that, what you just talked about, is when I talk about that next component that I mentioned about emotional resilience. What you just described legitimately is emotional resilience because understanding that chaos can cause a really deep connection with feeling emotional stress because you're always scrambling to find something. Or guess what? You got people coming over. So because you're not organized, you're struggling to clean your place and make it look more appropriate. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, gee, I've got too much stuff. And what do I do with this? And then you find, if you're like me occasionally, you open a closet door. I'm going to admit it.
Right.
I
People have
know
that
I need your
closet door.
service.
Yes, they have that closet door. They have that catch-all room. So you actually create more chaos.
You
And
do.
then you're creating more overwhelm. And it's causing anxiety,
Causes
stress.
it. Yes, it does. And one of the things I'll tell you from a mental health standpoint, one of the hallmarks that people are not doing well is when you go into their living spaces and you see a lot of dishes piled up, clothes aren't washed, beds not made, you can tell they haven't cleaned their house. That is often indicative that a person is struggling mentally and emotionally because our spaces really do reflect where we're emotionally and mentally at. Notice when you're in a good mood, what do? You clean, right? Less of a good mood, you don't. So, yes, that chaos does really chip away at your emotional resilience, which again is that last part about physical harmony, too, because there's something to be said when you see a physical space that's attractive and it's clean, all of a sudden you feel more motivated to do other things in your life. And I think you're helping and putting people in those positions. So, tell me something. People who don't think organization is important, what are some organizational myths that are just not true about trying to organize your life?
Okay, so there are so many myths, Maya, and I'm glad you asked that question. There's the myth that I buy these bins, I'll be organized. And that is the last thing I want my class to do. I do not want you to go out and buy anything because we have to follow the framework before we go make any new purchases because the purchases are usually what got us into the situation we're in.
Okay. Are there other kind of organizational myths? I mean, I do believe that people do think that bins are the answer. I have been guilty of that, and I kind of want to say what I think happens with bins. Why do they feel like they turn into catch-alls? And I still don't know what's in them half the time.
Exactly. And it's so hard to open them up, and you're like making a mess as you're opening and closing because you don't have a correct system. Um, Back to your other question. The other myth is that you think everything's supposed to be pretty. You think it's supposed to be Pinterest ready, IG, Instagram ready. And that's not what organization is. Organization is about making things accommodate your lifestyle.
Ah,
Organization is about having a home for all of your things, your
and that's
keys
interesting.
list. Yes.
Okay, I was gonna tell you, I wouldn't have thought that was a myth that because we're so like I think we're really kind of brought into the world to think that everything's supposed to have a space and everything should look very neat. So hence people struggle when they're messy. Like, what's one of the things that parents always say to their kids? Go clean your room. Go clean your room, right? But that
Yes.
doesn't that's not actually good direction, because here's a question. Cleaning, by the way, does not equate to organization, correct?
Right. And another thing, we're not teaching our children how to organize. One learns how to organize, learn how to wash dishes, learn how to wipe the counter down, but no one is teaching you how to systemize your life. So
That's
that's what I teach.
How did you come upon that skill set? Because, like, you're right, no one teaches you that. It's more about make your bed, wash the dishes. But there is nothing about how to make everything in your space make sense or have a place. So, how did you come to learn those skill sets?
Because I struggled with order. While I've always been cleaner and I'm kind of germaphobe, I struggled because I'm a self-diagnosed ADHD girl. And my mind is just always running rampant. And I found myself in situations of not knowing where my items were. And so I had to find a home. And my clients helped me. My very first client, she said, you have all my pens in the farm. You have all of my. So hearing that reflection, I come home after I service clients, I come home and regroup my life. And so my clients have actually put into me and made me more organized and taught me systems because I'm creating them and I implement them for not only my clients, but myself as well. So I'm full of strategies, years,
Okay.
because Maya, I started doing this over 20 years ago.
20
I started
years
my
ago.
cleaning business in 2000, and
Wow.
Love to Organize You was founded in 2014.
So you definitely got a lot of expertise on your belt just from cleaning. I'm assuming having that cleaning business, you probably were walking through people's houses and going, they have stuff everywhere. There is no sense of order here. Was that kind of when the epiphany kind of popped out?
Well, it's actually just the opposite. I'm like the clutter whisperer because I get off on it, okay? I love seeing mess because I know how to fix it. I always tell people I can't dance, I can't sing, but I can get you organized.
I know that's
Because I can
hey.
go into a room full of clutter, full of disarray to one person, and I can whip it into shape. But I like to do it side by side with my client because it would be like the fashion fair effect, right? The ladies used to go to the fashion fair counter, and what would
Yes.
we do? You would make your face up, right? You buy
Right.
makeup, you get home, you don't know what to do with it.
No.
So that's why I work side by side in the beginning with my clients because I have to be in tune with how you move. I need to know your schedule. When I come in and do in-person consultations, I'm walking around your entire home because your whole home works together. I'm looking in closets, I'm looking in cabinets because these are the homes. These are where everything lives. And I need to know, what time do you wake up? How much, like, we are dissecting your life because everything that is created is based around how you live and how you operate. It's not how Susan operates, how Karen or Becky. It's how you, Maya, how do you operate? So going to someone's house like, oh, I like that he did this. No, that might not work, Maya.
Hmm. So that's interesting, because now that makes me feel like when I was reading through different stuff, obviously it talked about you're a professional organizer, but then a lifestyle coach. So now I feel like this is how that plays into this, because you're not organizing just for the sake of helping someone just to get their space together. You want it to be reflective of their energy and their lifestyle. So it's something I'm guessing they're more likely to maintain versus you give them something that's really outside their scope that doesn't work with their energy. Chances are they're going to struggle more to keep that up.
Exactly, exactly. Some clients like acrylic clear containers. Others want everything hidden. It's what you like, what's going to on your face, and what's actually going to work for you.
Gotcha. Okay. So we talked about some organizing myths. Well, we kind of started talking into the facts. What are some things you'll tell you, despite what you think, this is really what organizing your life is?
Organizing your life is having systems. You know, we're in an AI world, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
everything needs to be automated. And that's the way your life should be automated. If you know you drink coffee, right? Let's create a morning routine. Let's say you drink coffee and
Mm-hmm.
you want to take your vitamins every day. But you don't take your vitamins every day, but you drink that coffee every day. So, what am I going to suggest? Put those vitamins right next to that coffee pot. When that's
Mm-hmm.
brewing, you pop those pills open. And that's a system for you. So, creating those small systems. I learned personally when I get home, I crash out. I crash out. I'll fall asleep with makeup. It's horrible. So what do I
Me.
do now? As soon as I get home, I wash my face because
Routine.
I'm
Okay.
gonna crash out. So now I'm washing my face at 6:30 as soon as I enter the door because I know I'm gonna crash out. So that's the
Okay.
system I created.
It's
So
all
I
about
do
creating.
coach clients and we dissect every little thing. And when I work with my clients, we go through papers. I mean, I'm very meticulous, very detailed about where we're putting things. Tax time, you know where your items are.
That right
So,
there. How long do you generally work with a person? Like, so when it first starts, like a lot of people are like, well, what does this process look like? How can I be prepared? Like, I don't think I can do this. So what does the process look like?
okay, so I always tell my clients or potential clients, don't do anything for me because I want to know where you are. So you know how when the cleaning lady comes, people like I clean before the lady comes or the gentleman come. No, do not do. I want to see how you're living. So people will call for a discovery call, and it's a 15-minute complimentary call, and we just talk about what you feel your needs are. And then we see which project will fit you. So if you're in the city, I might do an in-person consultation. If you are, let's say you live in Atlanta or Houston, I'll start coaching you. We'll work remotely and then I'll come in person. So I travel to those different states and I work with you wherever you are
Wherever
in
you
the
are.
United States.
That's right. There's no, hey, I'm sure it can be worth international if you can make it worth your dime
Okay.
to travel
Yes.
without seeing
Say
everybody.
that.
So part of the thing in starting a journey is just being willing to step out there and take the chance. So with that being said, and the upper for me, it is my upper left. It could be your upper right. There's a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it's going to take you to her website so you can schedule that 15-minute discovery, which is kind of like a consultation, but not exactly. The discovery is, are we probably a good fit? I'm guessing. Like, are you ready to do this? Because you're going to embark upon, to me, this is a journey. And once you start it, you got to be mentally, emotionally ready for it. Because, I'm guessing some of this means getting rid of things, donating things, parting with things that people have held on to for years and they struggle. So I'm assuming that first discovery call is, okay, are you ready? Because this is what this looks like. So scan that QR code, as well as you can go to the website, www.lovetoorganizeyou.com, to get this journey started as well. So I like the fact you're like, this is a process you build around people to make this happen. So we talked about myths. We talked about facts. Let's talk about hacks. And no, I can't rap. I just think I'm kind of cool when I did that. But anyway,
Yeah, I hear you.
tell me what are some hacks that for those people, for like seriously, that I will say just struggle with being organized. And I'm gonna tell you some people who are probably listening to this and going, I wonder if this is something I should look into. I'm hearing three types of
Mhm.
people I work with who can benefit from you. My folks who struggle with ADHD, my folks that struggle with OCD,
Mm.
like
Yes.
legitimately. A lot of my people who have anxiety because the minute something does not go according to plan, they kind of come undone. I'm hearing some very specific groups of people that could benefit from your service, because one of the things they struggle with is how they maintain spaces and can't find things. They sound like they would be a great fit for you. But what are some hacks if someone's like, okay, I want to try, but I struggle? What are some simple things that people can kind of do to start their organizing journey?
Okay, I talked about this hack. It's one of my favorites on TV. And I shared the one touch rule because people love to say, oh, I'll do, let me put this to the side. I'll deal with that later. I'll take care of that later. You touch it and you put it where it belongs. One touch. One touch, you touch it, you put it exactly where it belongs. No delay, no wait.
So that sounds like how you gave us that specific example of, because you forget to take your makeup off, you created a space for it. Like, when I get home, the first thing I do after maybe put my keys down is go into the bathroom, wash my face. So it sounds like when it crosses your mind, take the action.
Take action. The visibility rule. You ever heard out of sight, out of mind?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So using clear containers so you can see everything. One of my favorite hacks is to use carousels. You know, the ones you put in your refrigerator. You might have them, your Lazy Susans.
Lazy Susans.
So the acrylic. So I have my makeup in it because you can twirl it, put those under cabinets so you can have everything accessible, very easy to get to. And don't put things in dark places because you need to see. So use acrylic, clear containers.
Tell me this one hack and tell me if it, so I work with all kind of people. I definitely had some people who have ADHD, OCD. And one of the things that can be a big challenge for people is mail, because the amount of junk mail that most of us get now is like off the chain. I get more junk mail than any other mail, like legitimately. And when I go to the mailbox, there may be 2 to 3 pieces of mail in the 25 pieces of mail in the box that's even relevant. And I think a lot of people get frustrated with, okay, mail, paperwork. The hack I used to say to people that I use is I go from the mailbox into my garage and I have a junk mail box, like an empty box that I put junk mail in. And I put junk mail that needs to be shredded because I think it could have information that people might want to go take and use for some other purpose. And I have a shredding pile. And then I have my mail where I take it then upstairs and it's no longer on my dining room table. Tell me, is my hack halfway decent, or am I being delusional and thinking I did something good?
You tell me. Does it work for you? How is your bedroom working for you? Do you have a pile of mail in that bedroom?
On my dining room
table. To the bedroom.
It was my dining room table. It had turned into just tons of mail. And I was like, half of it didn't mean anything. And some of it did need to be shredded, but I was like, this is out of control, how much junk mail I'm getting. So actually for me, I do feel my little don't take it upstairs unless it's actually real mail helped. And then I put it there and I open it. And then I pick a day where I open my mail. And then I go from there. So you're right. That hack did work for me. I'm glad you did a correction. You're like, Maya, did it work for you?
That's the system for you. Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad you bring that up because in my book, I have a hack for you, Maya, in the book that you'll be getting, right? So in the book, I call it the sharing method because I struggled many years ago with my mail, and my mother's friend Sharon told me, when you get your mail, open it up, see what you need, make a pile for that, see what you don't need, and you're going to put that in the recycled pile. And so I separate it. I get all of those envelopes you don't need because those can be recycled. I'm in it recycled. And so that is how I handle that. So I get my mail, I come in, and I leave the shredder on 24/7. So when I open the mail, I shred my name. I take the other envelopes that can be recycled and I put them in the recycle bin because we have a recycle bin here.
Okay.
And it's gone.
And I do recycle too. I'm a big recycler. So I do have a shredder too. I do. My shredder is actually in the basement by the shred stuff. So I actually have it. I'm sorry, in my garage is where I keep the shredder. And so then I have sometimes I'll go in my garage and I'll just sit there and shred stuff, and then I'm good about it. Okay, so we have all this information. You are our guru. So you wrote a book, and I love this because one of the best ways to help people to start to have a solid journey is to give them something, I feel like a guide. And so you wrote this book, Organize, Simplify, and Thrive. Okay, one, tell me about the title. Like, what made you choose to pick that is your title of the book?
Maya, we have to organize, and it's not a one and done situation. We have to organize. It's an ongoing process because we're always buying things. So we have to simplify. And when we simplify, downsize to the things that we need, that are necessary, that bring spice and uplift you, you thrive. So simplify, thrive, clearing your way to your desired lifestyle.
Love it. And to me, I'm looking at the book. It doesn't look like it's super long. It looks like it gets right to like the meat and potatoes of what people like need to do to make it happen, because I know that can be a challenge. People often don't like to read, but I always say, some of the most important information that you do need to read is probably in print. Like legitimately, you're not going to always find it in a podcast. You're not always going to find it in a reel. Speaking of, do you podcast? How can people kind of follow you? I've been putting up your social media links. Like, do you post? I notice you do a lot of really great reels, and I love that you give
Thank
people like
you.
you give nuggets, and people love reels. It's quick, it's simple, and you're giving information that they like can legitimately use. So I love your reels. So besides the reels, any podcasting, things like that?
I'm about to start my podcast, and you're such an inspiration. I've been about to start it for a long time. I have my little microphone, I have everything that I need. So I will be podcasting. But in the meantime, we have reels and we have the book. It's 200 pages, but let me tell you about this book, Maya. I love my book, okay? Because there are quotes inside. I have reflection, helpful hints all throughout. I have helpful hints, and I also have my framework for getting organized. I also have checklists, and I have graphing where you can write and reflect. So it's not, oh, I'm going to read it and be done. You can map out exactly what you want to do.
What you
And
want
I
to do?
designed this book so you can take it to big box stores. So you can take it to Menards, Home Depot. So when you're working on that project, all your notes can live in here, your measurements from your contractor, anything you're trying to do, it all lives in here. I want this to be a part of you the way it's a part of me.
Love it. Good stuff. And okay, so we've got the book, so we know, and I like that you've made it really like a functional book. Like, take this with you when you're like, going to the big box stores, maybe to purchase something that you think like, the bends and all those different things, so that you can refer back to it. So it's kind of like you're giving people kind of like this roadmap of how to get to that lifestyle, how to have that organized space that you want through your book. Fantastic.
Yes.
So remember, well, with this being said, make sure you follow I love to organize you, just like it sounds, at IG and Facebook. Love to organize you. I saw IG, Facebook, any other social media platforms that you're on besides
I'm
those
on
two?
LinkedIn under Sylvia Holloway.
Okay, under Sylvia Holloway. So you can connect with Sylvia under LinkedIn as well. But make sure you do follow, because like I said, there are a lot of really useful reels that I was listening to when I follow you on Instagram. So everybody make sure you give her a follow. IG, Facebook, also on LinkedIn, if that's something you do, at Love to Organize You as well, so they can get social. So I love the fact that you do the reels, so you're giving people great information to kind of do the things they need to do. But you also realize that, hey, sometimes people need a better call to action. And even I realize that they need something that's going to make them get up, get out, and do something, so to speak. And coming up, you've got this wonderful 4-day live declutter challenge. Crush the clutter that goes from April 6th to the 9th. Okay. So I think a challenge is always a good thing, because it seems like people can step up. when it's a small time frame, I feel that people often can be more front and center, Sylvia, than when it's a long-term thing. So I love this. It's just a 4-day thing to say, hey, if you want to jumpstart your organizational journey, this 4-day challenge seems like a great idea. Tell me a bit more about it.
So it's 4 days. It's in the evening. I did it last year. Lots of testimonials. The people who came on absolutely loved it. They were knocking things out, not only at home, but at work. I give you strategies, tips, and I'm your accountability for the week. So it's like having free Sylvia. And I hate to use the free, but it's a complimentary Sylvia. So you're getting what my clients get for 4 days, and you're going to make shifts in your life. I had one lady, she actually said, I'm using your strategies. And some of the people who work for her, they came in her office and was like, oh, I see you, all from the challenge. So I'm teaching lots of strategies, and it's well worth it. And it's complimentary. It's the closest you get right now.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. This is a 4-day complimentary, challenge to help you to be able to level up your organization skills that most of us honestly do not have. People, it's free. I like complimentary, but sometimes you just got to bust people in the mouth with it. It's free. So there at this point is no reason to say, you know something? I know a ton of people had probably a New Year's resolution, which I hate. I hate New Year's resolutions because I feel people fail to stick to them because they're not real goals. If you want to improve what you're doing and you feel like you looking around your space going, you know what? Okay, I could use some help with this because it's not good. And I do feel highly disorganized. I feel frustrated and overwhelmed because my space is just not good. Why not start legitimately with this complimentary challenge? 4 days. It's taking out 4 days of your life to see how this shift in kind of cleaning up your chaos could change your overall emotional, mental, and physical well-being. So if people want to kind of jump in and get involved in this 4-day declutter challenge, how does it work? Like, is it through Instagram? Kind of how is it, kind of put out there so people can be part of it?
So I'm going to do it on Zoom,
Okay.
and they just sign up. So they have to follow me on Instagram because you're actually the first person to present the challenge for this year. So if they follow me, they'll be ready, and they'll get the link to sign up because it's not even out yet. Thank you, Maya.
Oh, I'm just seeing. The thing is, now they're like getting ahead of the curve because if someone's like, okay, I'd like to try this. Let me see if I can really pull this off. Here it is. So
Oh,
to be
yeah.
able to register for the challenge, you got to follow Sylvia on Instagram right here. Here it is. IG, Facebook at Love to Organize You. You go there, boom, you follow her and, express your interest in the challenge. And there you go. This is something I love when people have a chance to kind of try something out, to get a little comfort with it, to say, you know something? That was the most productive 4 days of my life. I got stuff done. I felt more mentally clear because things were flowing in a way that I'm not used to. So again, you're giving a nugget and there's no reason for people to not pick up what you are dropping. Okay.
It's
So
no reason.
as I mentioned, pretty much I met you. It's crazy how long I've known you for, because when you start talking about things, I'm like, you've been doing you've been in the cleaning business, and Love to Organize You has been around since like 2014. Like, it's crazy how much time flies, which means you're clearly an expert and a guru at this. But one of the things I also love about you is you are a true entrepreneur. And I stumbled upon one of your new projects that I didn't even know. But we'll talk about that because you're doing some stuff that really piques my interest. So let's talk about an event you have coming up. And I'm just totally excited. I'm mad I have to miss it, called the Reset Room. So the Reset Room experience, which is going to be Sunday, March 29th, 2 to 6 p.m., is going to be this very intimate in-person event for women, for very intentional women. So ladies, if you're not ready to level up, if you're not ready to do that work, you're not tired of kind of living in your chaos, maybe you should show up to this, because this might be exactly the reset that you need to be able to get in that space. It's going to have guided reflections, strategic planning. It's going to be trust me, the spaces that Sylvia and her sister move in, top notch. You will walk in that room, you're going to feel the energy and just be like, okay, I'm feeling this. I'm liking this. This is the kind of space I'm looking for. And you're going to be around other women that have that same type of energy. And of course, there's food and beverage. Tell us about where did the idea of the reset room experience come from? And tell us more about it.
So in 2020, I did a vision board party, and I was like, oh, I wanted to do a vision board party. So it was a success. And I said, I'm going to do one every quarter to make sure these women are meeting their goals throughout the year, because we know we'll set a goal New Year's Eve and it'll just go away. So I wanted to do check-ins. So we know what happened in 2020, right? So
Right.
that went away. And so I brought it back this year. So I did the reset room. I said, I don't want to cut out magazine pictures and all of that. I want to do intentional planning. We're going to plan our entire quarter. So we did it for Q1. It was a success. And now we're doing it for Q2. So Q1 and Q2 are my beta testers. Of course, the price is going to go up. But right now it is just like no reason why anyone who doesn't want their life to be better. I mean, you can be the busiest person, the most productive person in the world, but if you're not intentional about writing out your goals and making deadlines and having accountability and planning time, you will not accomplish what you wanted.
You will
So
not.
that's why
Yes.
I'm doing these every quarter for Q1 and Q2. I'll probably go back Q4 because I don't like to bother people's summers. But I'm going to do a check-in. But Q1 was absolutely amazing. And we're planning out everything we want to do for these next 12 weeks.
You
And
know, I like what you said, because one of the things I find in working with people in therapy, and I say this, I always ask people to write down their goals at the beginning of the year. Because what I find, if people have had some struggles and maybe the year did not fully go the way that they want it to go, then they believe they've achieved nothing. But then I say, do me a favor. Can you go back and grab those goals that we worked on the beginning of the year so we can kind of revisit them? Because, we did a check in midway through. And when we did, you actually had gotten quite a few things done. But we also did a little redirection to figure out what was not working for you. Every time a person does that, Sylvia, do you know they come back and go, I had 10 goals and I actually accomplished 7? Because we tend to focus on the negative, what we think we haven't done or what we haven't accomplished. So the fact that you do these resets for people who are there, this is a good thing to keep them on course, to even say, this is working, this isn't working. So I need to kind of maybe realign where my energies are going or something different. So I love the idea. This is bigger than a vision board, which, don't get me wrong, vision boards can be a very fun experience. But when we are
yes,
leveling up because we have bigger goals, it's more than magazine cutting, pasting, and a sip of wine, just to say. Because if there's not wine involved, why were we doing it? I'm just kidding. But but really, I love it when you said you were doing this reset. I'm like, again, this is Sylvia, the evolving entrepreneur, by the way, people. Because when I told you, think about what she just said. Started with a cleaning company, then became an organizational lifestyle coach, that now she's traveling the country and helping people get their lives together. She's fixing their lives through organization. And now she's like saying, wait, but I realize organization is more than just your physical space. If you're better up here, imagine what happens out here, people. So she's this evolving entrepreneur, besides just the fact that she's got the very amazing reset room experience going on. And with that being said, right now it sounds like you are taking guests, you're enrolling people for this right now, for this next session you have coming up March 29th.
yes, doors are going to be closing soon. And Maya, it's going to be a wine tasting there.
Oh,
The people who signed up don't even know that. And I have the owner of Love Corkscrew who will be present. So
Krishan.
yes,
Love it. I love it. Love Krishan. So by the way, guys, I'm always giving those QR codes, though. Some people might say, Maya, why are you giving me a QR code on the screen? I can't scan it. I'm watching on my phone. Actually, You can, you probably just don't know it. But don't worry, I will drop into the comment section these links as well. So right there, top left for me, maybe top right for you. If you're interested in finding out more, or even signing up for the reset room, scan that QR code. Like I said, I will drop these into the comment sections before we go. That'll take you right there to the registration page. Like she said, it's filling fast because she's already done this a couple times and people can see the benefit of it. And I always say to Sylvia, what I feel like this might be, I have a lot of women who feel like they don't have enough connection with other women that share their energy or have those goals. One thing I can say about you and your sister, you bring like-minded people together that are trying to level up, be better people. But here's one better people about the energy they bring. Those people in that room also want to help other people. You know, I have
Yes.
every event I've ever been to. I've met people. People speak to you. It's kind. It goes against everything that people think networking with women isn't. Seriously. So
It really
I know.
does, because Maya,
Mhm.
I'm on this podcast because we saw each other at my sister's event, the Black Female
Yeah.
Perspective. So
Yes. Yes. And it's just, again, if you're not involved in that, and by the way, I got to have her on too. I know she's gonna be like, "No, Maya," because you know how your sister is. But again, she offers so many amazing options for people to be social and to get out there and meet people and network and to grow their business, their brand, whatever it is. So it isn't just about let's be social. It's about building you and leveling up in different ways. So we got Sylvia, who's now doing the reset room experience, creating and curating these spaces for women to work on their goals, to connect and to recharge their energy and get better direction. So we've got that. That's not all she's doing. You know what? There's no way she possibly would be like, hey, when we create great spaces, well, why not provide something? So, of course, she's got some signature products. And this is where I didn't know. So, you've got this great line of like hoodies and t shirts. You know, I'm going to begin. I love candles. So, when I saw that candle, I was like, I love a good candle. But besides these that just say release, you have a whole line of inspirational t-shirts and hoodies that I absolutely love. So now, kind of what made you bring this piece into your entrepreneur branding?
okay, Maya, you're tying more businesses, right? So I have another business that is a hoodie line.
Mm-hmm.
And the candle came about because I wanted to give my clients a gift. So when they
Ah,
sign up with me, when we do projects, I give them the candle now. So people fell in love with the candle. So now I'm selling the candle, right?
as you know, I
And
love that.
the release, I wear these hoodies and things because we need to know we're letting go. We're letting go of all things that are not moving us forward, all things that are not bringing us happiness.
There you go.
So we have to let it go. And that's that reminder to you. And people say release. Yeah, you need to let go of things that don't serve you.
I love that. I love it. So when I saw that. So again, everybody, I'm making this easy for you. QR code, top left for me, right for you. Scan it. It's going to take you to the website. Again, on that website, you can go and see the products. You can purchase the book. And I want to say they purchased the book. It's an autographed copy, right?
It's an autographed copy with a bookmark, a
With a
very
bookmark.
cute bookmark.
Very
Yes.
cute. There you go. So there you go. So it's very personalized. It's showing appreciation because when you support Sylvia, you are supporting her brand and her entrepreneur spirit. But in the meantime, you're also benefiting from it as well. So the website, you scan it, you can go get your 15-minute discovery about how to organize better and then kind of move forward. You can go there and get the book. You can purchase the products. And we didn't even get into your other hoodie brand. I love it. Do you want to talk about it or do we save that for a different episode? It's up to
We
you.
can save that for a different time. But I
Okay.
do
Because
want
they're
to
super
talk
cute
about
though.
the
They're cute.
clearing. Hmm.
Would you? They're super cute though. I love it. I was gonna wear it today, but I was like, maybe I shouldn't because maybe she's not ready to kind of put that out there yet. But I was gonna wear it.
It's out there, but I haven't merged the two. We talked a little bit about that. But I
Okay.
did do a clear and claim challenge last year at the end of the year, a 30 days to clear and claim. So if they go on my social media, they'll have 30 days to go and clear and claim. So it's like a declutter challenge in itself. So lots of opportunities. I'm very passionate about people getting organized because I know it is life changing. So let's get it.
it's this is life changing, and I think the problem, I think, Sylvia, and it's, as we kind of start to wind this down, is I feel like people get too comfortable with living in chaos. We normalize a lot of things in our lives that aren't healthy. And just being in a chaotic living space is something that people, especially if you grew up around clutter, I've had people
Mhm.
express that they struggle with organization or clutter because they grew up with a parent that was a hoarder, and that's a whole nother, ball of wax. And so they themselves really struggle to find peace in their space. So I think people, when we talk about your house, your office, whatever is your sanctuary, and that means you've created that space because it works for you and what you're looking for. And sometimes we don't even know what that is until someone comes along and helps us to remove the myths out, gives us the facts, and helps us to be able to build up to have the spaces that we want. So without a doubt, that's you. That's you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank
All
you for
right.
giving me space to talk about it.
Absolutely. But I want to call to action, everybody. So you've heard why getting organized is important. It helps to have mental clarity, emotional resilience, and physical harmony in a way that you have never experienced before when your space is well put together. Sometimes it's hard to do on your own. If you've been struggling, then hey, stop trying to do it on your own. So we know that obviously we've got the book that Sylvia has written that can help you to be organized, simplify your life so that you can thrive in those ways you're looking for, as well as, hey, to jumpstart this journey, we've got the 4-day live declutter challenge. Crush the clutter. 4 days that you have to dedicate from April 6th to the 9th. You got to go, like she mentioned, in order to get involved in that, you have to get social with her. So connect with Sylvia on Instagram specifically at Love to Organize You. Follow on Facebook too. Great reels there. But that's how you can get enrolled in this absolutely free, complimentary start to this journey. And it's going to be a journey. And I do believe everything you told me, Sylvia, I believe this is so life changing for people. You know what? And if you feel like your space is okay, but mentally you need a reset, then guess what? You've got the reset room experience. That's coming up, and that's got limited space available. So whether you're looking to physically work on a space or mentally and emotionally just work on the space that is you, here comes an experience coming up that you can do those things. So there's no reason not to get out there and to get up, get out, and do something. That's the bottom line. As always, I expected this would be nothing less than amazing. You got the QR code, scan it, because it's going to take you to the website, and all things that are Sylvia Holloway and Love to Organize You is right there. There's no reason to get active and make that change. Any closing thoughts for my guest?
Yes, I just want to say organizing is not about perfection. It's about creating a life that supports your lifestyle. And that's very important to know. And I want you to know, start your journey wherever you are. Just start small and give yourself grace.
And give yourself grace. And there you go. And here it is. You're the person that can help people to be able to do those things. Well, thank you as always. Appreciate your time and look forward to having you back again. And definitely encourage people they follow you. All right. Have a good one. Everybody, that was my amazing guest, Sylvia Holloway, who is the founder of Love to Organize You. So if you're one of those people that's struggling to get it together, guess what? You no longer have to walk that path alone. Scan that QR code at top, takes you to the website, as well as I have dropped in the comment section the links that takes you to the website as well as to the reset room. So you can get the things right there. Jump on the reset room experience because like she said, it's limited space because it's not a first time experience. And women are starting to see the value of being able to take that mental and emotional clutter that they have and move a life with intention because now they actually have a plan. And that's the key thing. All right, everyone. As I always say, I always appreciate when people show up to support me. So thank you for listening to this episode. As I say, the whole purpose of my podcast is to help you to identify your ambition and harness that motivation to help you acquire the success and satisfaction you seek in your everyday life. Don't worry if you missed any episode or even if you didn't get to see this episode fully. That's okay. It's no big deal. You can always find episodes of M.A.Y.A on multiple podcast platforms. So you can find me on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Spotify. Just search M.A.Y.A, My Ambition, Your Ambition, and you're going to find it there. Of course, you can always go to my new and improved retool website, which is www.maya MayaSpeaks.com, and you can find everything Maya there. Of course, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Maya Speaks to You. And that's exactly the same way that you can get social with me, is at Maya Speaks to You. I'm on Facebook, IG, and X, though I'm thinking about, I might have a departure from X. I'm told I need to start TikToking. So I think I'm going to level up and start TikToking as well, because I've been told that's important. Make sure you do check out the website, because there's a blog I love on there. It's my menopause blog, Me on Pause. Everyone knows I am the poster child for menopause, and I'm also working on my dissertation. So I think I've become the light expert after doing about 7 years of research on this. So my blog has some fantastic information. The current post is about menopause, and if you've actually had a hysterectomy, you have a different journey down that path, and most women have never been informed how that particular medical procedure was going to affect them when they went into menopause. Usually it's early. So the blog has everything from hair loss articles. It's really highly informative. Check it out. It's there. But here's one better. I also have, if most people don't know at this point, I actually have an app, which I'm starting to promote more, because people are like, what do you mean you have an app? Yes, there's an app. You can take Maya on the go. You can download my app in the Apple store or the Amazon store. You can just search the Maya Experience. And guess what, everybody? Everything from the podcast are there. You have access to the website, all my blogs. And I'm actually now writing for Brains Magazine. I do a monthly contribution. The current article is about the importance of self-preservation. So everything Maya, if you want to make your life just easy, just get the app, and then you won't have to worry about it. But of course, you can check out the website too, because everything can direct you there. You can book me to speak at events. You can listen to the podcast. Of course, the blog is there, and you can also download the app. So see, I'm trying to make things very easy for you. But always, everyone, I do appreciate the support. And until next time, remember, your present becomes your past, and your future is no more. So live every day to the fullest. Stay amazing, be beautiful, and remember, it's not just about dreaming it. It's about bringing it into action by having goals, and that's what we do here. Until next time, ciao.
Whether you're on the go or listening on your cell phone, tablet, or laptop, you can find the show in the iTunes, Google, and iHeartRadio platforms.
With all due respect, I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
Just search Maya, My Ambition, Your Ambition, and get ready to be inspired and motivated to harness your ambition.